Hello. So this is the head that I made from my previous tutorials, which I'll put the links down on the description. I'll use this to show you how I approach head retopology. But first, why do we need to retopo? Well, it's necessary for optimization, especially in animation. It'll give us proper deformations like on the mouth and the eyes. But of course, you are free to use automatic retopo add-ons if the topology doesn't concern you that much. So before we start, I want you to go to Preferences, Add-ons, and enable F2. What we'll do is, for example, we extrude these vertices and we want to fill this in. Just hit F. Or we can select a vertex and hit F, then it will create a face. There are retopo add-ons you can download to speed up the process. I personally don't use one, so I don't know what to recommend. So first, make sure to turn Snap to Face on so our retopo will stick on our mesh and not be over the place. Add a plane, go to Edit Mode, RX90, scale it down and put it here. What I do first is to make the main loops on the face. In making the main loops, I have two rules. Not to be conscious on the vertex count and to make the faces big or to stay low res. So that's it. These are the main loops. After the main loops, I make the nose. Remember that you can always add loops when needed, but just don't go crazy adding a lot. I also want you guys to know that I don't want you to count every faces I make and think that you should have the exact count. Every retopo I make varies, and what I want you to take from this video are the principles instead. So here I'm building the nose wing. In this step, where I fill the faces of the main loops, I'm starting to be mindful of the vertex count. I don't have an exact vertex count, but I just want them to be an even number to keep the quads. Oh yeah, I forgot the rule. I keep everything in quads. And if you keep your vertices even, you can simply Ctrl F to grid fill. Just fill this in and add loops to match, then fill. I also forgot to tell you that when adding loops, it will not snap the face automatically. So you have to select the vertices and just hit G without moving your cursor. Then just extrude these for the cheeks. I add more loops, then extrude these to make a loop surrounding the eyes. Add more loops. Again, I don't have any exact number. I just add what I think looks right. But if I'm retopologizing a head with a body, I'll be more conscious with the count. For the top of the head, I've seen people do this, but for me, I like to imagine this as a box, so I just put the corners, then bridge them. Make sure to count the vertices. Like this, I fell one vert short. Then bridge again, and here I forgot to finish this. I extrude the eye inwards, then bridge this for the caruncle. Since my verts are even, I just grid fill. Then extrude these for the mouth. Since I don't have a body to connect to, I just extrude these. Then the ear. Before making the ear, make sure that your verts are even. If not, you can just add a loop. So I select these verts, then separate. Hide the head retopo for now so we can focus on the ear. The ear. It doesn't normally deform, so nothing to worry much about here. I just try my best to follow the form. I know this can be a little daunting, but believe me that everything will be okay as long as your verts are even. So here I'm on the ear hole, just extrude and scale it down, then grid fill. Unhide the head, select both the head and the ear, and Ctrl-J to join, then select each vertices to merge. If we subdivide this, you'll see it looks weird, and it's because of the normals. So just Ctrl-Shift-N and uncheck this. And of course, I forgot to make the mouth bag. Just extrude and just move the vertices to make it clean. Then add a shrinkwrap modifier and select the head. Now our sculpt details are being projected, but as well as the inside of the eyes and the mouth bag. So I just select those faces, make a vertex group, and assign. Go to our shrinkwrap modifier and select the group and click this to invert. There are areas that need polishing and just select those areas and Alt-S. But don't worry, cause you can always polish it on sculpt mode. So I convert this to a mesh, add a multi-res modifier, then rebuild subdivisions. Then I go to sculpt mode to fix. Remember that when you sculpt on multi-res, it doesn't automatically adjust the base mesh, unless you tick this box for the sculpt base mesh, but that would be too low res to sculpt on. So I just sculpt, then after sculpting, go to shape and hit apply base. You'll see that it's being adjusted here. So that's all for the head retopo. Okay, thanks, bye!